The Zone at 91.3 presents The B-Side.
Hang on, man.
Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great, Dan.
Awesome.
What's on the B-side today, Bruce?
So, I just recently had a big board meeting with VIATEC, right? So VIATEC, Tech
That sounds
Industry
lame.
Association. Yeah, right? Of course
Yeah.
it sounds lame. Yeah, there's governance and finance and all kinds of fun
and
things.
votes and motions. And
Yeah, there's some of that. There's some of that. But what makes this annual meeting a little more special is when we pick up our plan. What are we going to do next? And you guys, remember when...
Hold on a sec. Stop.
Yeah.
Imagine there's somebody listening that doesn't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Sure.
Who is VIATEC?
Right. Okay. So VIATEC is an industry association. That means a bunch of tech companies have joined together as members to create an organization to represent and help them grow. So that's what VIATEC is. And then we need to come up with plans on what we want to do. How are we going to change the program so that things get better? And so, for example, creating the Tectoria brand so that everybody found out that there's a technology sector here. Because not that long ago, people had no idea there's a tech sector here. Billions and billions of dollars in revenue, and nobody noticed. And so that's the kind of stuff where we try and change that, right? We look for what we call great common denominators. What's the things that all of these tech companies have in common that they're dealing with, either an opportunity or a challenge, and then we try and address it. So the biggest challenge we have growing our tech sector, finding more people. And so how do we find more people?
What a great problem to have. I mean, it's not a great problem to have, but it's better than not even having a sector.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to be successful to have that problem.
Sure, yeah.
Now, how do we move that needle? We get more people aware that we live in an amazing place and we have amazing opportunities, either to invest, get a job, or start a company. So that's our job. And typically, we don't like to stand in front of the tech sector and tell it what it's supposed to be. We like to find out what it's looking for and then try and help with that. Well, we were doing our strategic plan, which is the plan of what you're going to do in the long term with your organization and with your membership.
Here at the radio station, we like to call those WIGs.
WIGs?
We learned that at our TTI meeting.
Was that some sort of goal related thing?
What is it? I don't even know what the hell it stands for. It's a big plan.
Yeah, so sometimes people call them BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals.
Wildly important goal.
Wildly important goal. So, okay, so that's BHAG.
Oh, nice one.
Nice. So we normally look at 1-2 years, and this time around we looked at 2030. You know, it's a nice round number. Where do we want to be in 2030? And the board...
I just want to be alive.
The board in VIATEC is given ourselves a moonshot, right? Kennedy stood up and said in 10 years we're going to be on the moon. And what do you know? Within 10 years we were on the moon. So the board just approved, and now we're going to build the plan to do this, that we're going to have a $10 billion tech sector in Greater Victoria by 2030. And so that's huge, but I believe we're going to do it. I believe it's doable. We're probably, revenue-wise, we're well over $3 billion, perhaps at $4 billion. So we're talking about $6 billion more in growth. But to put it in perspective, 10 years ago, the iPhone came out. Uber didn't exist. Twitter didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist. Snapchat didn't exist. So Airbnb didn't exist. So you can build amazing large companies. Hootsuite in Vancouver didn't exist. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to look for the 5 to 15 entrepreneurs and companies that aspire to be $250 million in sales or higher, 250 staff or higher, and then we're going to find out what are their primary challenges that they're facing. We're going to build the programming and curriculum for them, and then all the other tech members are going to benefit from it at the same time.
Wow.
So this is, but
huge.
I think even saying one thing about tech people is they're competitive. So saying really what we should be saying is we don't think you guys could get to 10 billion by 2030, and just leave the room and
then walk out.
Yeah, and get them there.
We're going to get so many bonus points from our executive for talking about all of this stuff.
I hope so.
I'm going to write them a letter.
Dan Gunn, thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan.